Hello and welcome back to the ninth episode of the shit show, the Jack and Joe podcast. I always start my shows like this. I always do my praying hands.
I'm just
Today we have a very special guest with us. Some of you might recognize him as a social media manager for Pride. We actually had Five on, I think, a couple episodes back. Lovely dude, very funny. But now we have their social media manager, Gank, who's coming in to talk a little bit to us about social media management, social media platforms, and basically, I'm really curious about your content creation journey because I sometimes high key your TikToks pop up on my for you page. So
hey,
I'm
I'm
very
glad.
curious. Yeah, so like the algorithm works. So we had lined up a couple questions to ask you, like we had done with Five. But firstly, I wanted
Mhm.
to talk to you about your star certification thing that you did.
Oh my
Can
god.
I ask how you did that, please?
Yes. So, I was driving home from being with Anna and her mom for Christmas, and I was like racking my brain because I've hit up G Fuel every way that I possibly could have.
Mhm.
And I was like, the reality is I'm still a pretty small creator, so I needed to figure out something that I hadn't seen yet. I'm sure someone's done this before, but that I just hadn't seen within the circle that I follow on Twitter.
Mhm.
And so I was like, um, on the way home, there was a commercial for naming a star, like for Christmas. Like it was like here, you don't have a gift, right? Like name a star for someone. It was playing on the radio, and I was like, wait a minute,
Oh my gosh.
you can name it anything, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be a name, right? So I decided to just Google it, and I clicked on the first one that I found, and code gank at gfuel.com. Got named a star and
So this is like
decided
an
to
actual star somewhere in space that has now.
Well, the reality is all of these sites, I mean, what can they actually do? They're gonna go fly up there and write it in a star. So I mean, all of it is for show, every one of
Okay.
these sites, but I mean, they do go all out. I will give them that. They're sending me an actual like framed certificate. And then they do like pick a star and then they give you like this whole star map and everything. They do go all out. I'll
Oh
give
my
them credit.
gosh. That's so cute.
Um
What?
but I was like, "Look, you know what? Let's go for it." And it actually honestly, the tweet itself didn't go crazy, but there were a few people, like, that would have never even looked at me before that did send me DMs like, "Oh my god, how did you do that?" And then G Fuel's CEO did reply and
That's
follow
what
me.
I
So that was pretty cool.
saw. Yeah. Yeah, Cliff Morgan. He replied to it.
Yes. Yeah,
That's so, but that means like you got on their radar, which is, I would imagine, always good when wanting to get the attention of sponsors and stuff. That's so
exactly.
That's why
Yeah.
the first thing I saw was that, and I was like, "Holy shit, are you serious?" I found that
Yeah, I
so
could
funny.
not believe it. I was like, "Wait, what?" And he does not follow a lot of people. Like even
No,
there are quite a few actual G Fuel partners that I saw were not on his list of people he follows. So I was pretty happy with that.
that's awesome. Someone must have shown him and be like, "Hey, look at what this guy did." He probably
Yeah.
was like, "Holy shit," and had to reply. That's awesome. So, what got you first interested in doing like social media management?
So I'm a marketing student and I wanted to go into I'm in the Pacific Northwest, and so we're I'm right across the river from like Nike and Adidas headquarters. And that's what I wanted to do was like work in um, athletic apparel and marketing for that. Is world renowned for their marketing, so that's what I wanted to get into. But with with um, 2020 being what it was, and being out of a job, I jumped into the streaming, got on Twitter, got into this world, um, and I'm a big G2 fan. And G2 and Cloud9, their social media accounts are just run beautifully. They obviously are very professional. They do post announcements in your typical organization type posts, but then they will like they meme so hard. They'll meme each other, every other team, rivalries, everything like that. And it just they do it so much better than a lot of other teams. And I don't know. I just saw that and I'm like, what? Why couldn't I just like be behind that tweet or on the team that's behind that tweet? Um, and I was like, well, let's go for it. So I DM'd every tier one or social media manager I could find or someone on one of those teams. Um, and I did not get a reply back from anybody except for one of the specialists for G2. And I was like, okay, if out of everyone
Oh.
to message back, I was like, okay, this is awesome.
Is that a sign?
Yeah, I was like, okay, like hire me, right? Like here we go.
Yeah. This is my
Me with
shot.
like no experience. I just like had this bright idea a few days ago, but like, yeah, hire me. Um, but basically what they said was I asked them how they all started. I wasn't asking for a job, but I was asking like, so how did you get started? Because they don't really teach you this in school. I mean,
No.
esports is not. I mean, it's on the radar now, but like they're not going. Yeah, here's how you get a job online.
Mhm.
They're still not really teaching you that, and
There isn't a
so
guide that says this is how you become this. Have fun.
yeah,
Figure it out.
you know, some of them are, but like most jobs like this, you're not going to find on Indeed,
Mhm.
right? So I just asked like, how the heck do you get started? And they basically said the way that they started was they went to teams that like were just starting. It could be sub 100 followers, sub 1,000 followers, like low numbers, and then just volunteer. Just be like, you know what, I'll run your social media because for him it wasn't how many impressions, right, his tweets were getting. It was he gets now a portfolio of content that he's running. It doesn't matter the audience.
Mhm.
It was just him being able to tweet, post on depending on what platform for an organization. That's all he needed because then that was experience.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, all right, well, knowing me, I needed to make sure that I made my expectations unrealistic. So I was like, okay, I'll go and like hit up bigger teams, bigger than what he was describing.
Mhm.
And so there were two teams that were initially on my radar, one being Aura and one being Pride,
Rest in
and the other being
peace.
Pride. I know, rest in peace, right?
Hot salami
Um,
steakums.
so, and I kid you not, the reason why I picked, there were a couple reasons why I picked Aura over Pride at that time, which I'm gonna get fired for saying. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow,
Um,
5 closer
I
You're
know,
years.
done.
I know, controversy. No, so there was another Gank. There's another Gank, Gankenstein. He was on Pride at the time, and I was like,
Oh.
okay, no, right, like,
We can't have
and
two
I
gangs.
haven't actually ever talked to him, but he seems like a cool guy. Everyone loves him, and so I'm sure he's an awesome guy. But I'm just like, no,
There
right?
can
We're
only
not
be
having
one.
two. There can only be one. So, that and let's be honest. I don't know how much you guys want to talk about it, but let's be honest. At the time, especially, this was June.
Yeah.
Um, Aura had a lot of hype,
Mm.
and Ash had a lot of control over the circle. Like Ash could tweet something, and just everyone would flock to it.
Yeah.
And when it came to what I was looking for, which was I want to tweet something and as many people as I can at my level to see it as possible, Aura looked like a really great option.
Mhm.
So I sent a message to Ash in June. I did not officially like grind for Aura. I didn't really like make any of that public.
Mhm.
I just said that I kept tweeting that I wanted to be on a team, and then I decided to turn my Twitter from, posting what I had for lunch to like, the more generic, relatable tweets that I could kind of build a platform and show any team that, hey, I mean, I can tweet, like I can compose a tweet semi professionally.
Mhm.
and then the rest is history.
This
I
is
mean,
history.
we
So
got the
Aura
DM
was your
later.
first. Oh my god, first org for you to get involved when it came to down to social media management, and then I think you
Yeah.
went over to Pride after.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, like so I sent the initial DM in June, and then September rolled around, because Aries was doing a great job, and then and then Ash put out a tweet saying that they were looking for a new social media manager, and so and she wanted resumes,
hmm
and so I sent my resume again, um, and Ash tweeted like seconds later. I mean, John Baker sent me Ash's DM. I mean, Ash's tweet 2 minutes after it was posted.
hmm
I sent my resume. Ash immediately tweeted, "We already found our social media manager." I'm like,
Dang,
"Ah,
it was
well,"
so quick. Yeah.
I was like, "All right, well, whatever. Nice." Like, I did not get a reply. I was
I'm
like,
in.
"Okay, well, you know," I went to my Discord. I'm like, "Look, guys, if anyone wants to, I don't know how much vouchers matter, but whatever."
hmm
Um, I sent them the tweet, like the original tweet, and they're like, "It's gone." That was deleted. The we're looking for a social media manager. That one was deleted. I'm like, "Ah, what?" Went to the account, and it was, "We found our social media manager." I'm like, well, better luck next time."
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And then yeah, 15 minutes later, got a DM asking to be the social media manager, and that was the first time I'd ever tweeted for an organization. Was Aura. I
That's
had
pretty strong
zero
too.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like certainly Aura at the time was pretty big or getting a lot of impressions, like you had said. So it's really cool that
Yeah.
instead of going like something that just launched or that's
Mhm.
not getting as many impressions as an org typically would, you went after some of the quotation mark bigger guys.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Nothing compared to obviously Cloud9 and all
Well,
them,
sure,
but yeah,
but yeah, it was definitely a
That's
much
later down
bigger
the road.
start.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll get there.
that's the next chapter, right?
Yeah.
So
Yo, I loved Gank as our social media manager,
to
though.
be honest, yeah.
You pooped on me a lot for being bald, and I remember that was some of like my first impressions of him was him attacking me for being bald, and I was like, you know what, this guy's all right.
You made a good first impression on a lot of people, including myself, because
Oh
I
yeah.
was at the time working closely with you in terms of like getting stuff up on the channel
Right.
and being like, here, you can put this up tomorrow or whatever. I was sending you
Mhm.
videos and stuff that you would use to promote YouTube or whatever it was at the time. So yeah, that's really fun. So what got you
Like,
interested in Pride after the fact? You left Oro. I'm sure. I think there was like a buffer time between until you picked Pride.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I was pretty shell shocked by the whole thing. Again, like my first real org experience was definitely not a typical one.
Yeah.
Um, and I was nervous because alongside the social media management, I still had this content creation
hmm
um journey alongside that I cared just as much about. It's not like, oh, I'll stream on the side. It's like it's equally important, but I kept them very separately.
hmm
Um, like Aura and the members in Aura weren't a major factor in my content creation.
hmm
It would be like, one or two people from Aura within that, but then that was all separate. They didn't really know a lot about Aura, and I was able to kind of separate the two, and I'm glad I did, to be honest,
Yeah.
because that would have been a mess. So I kind of just focused on that, and I'm like, man, I got lucky with Aura, with
hmm
size wise, right? Like we talked about how that should not have been the start. And I was like, well, where am I going to get that again? I have a month experience. It felt like forever, but I
Yeah.
had 1 month of experience. That is not enough to then go somewhere else and be like, hey, look, they had, what was it? 6,000 followers or whatever. I didn't really have enough experience to then kind of horizontally go to another 6 to 10,000 follower team.
hmm
And so I was going to kind of just give it some time. I reached out to an organization that was starting back up.
Mm-hmm.
um, and sent some Aura tweets as examples, and they actually did offer me the position. I was in their management chat, ready to
Oh,
go,
okay.
and in the back of my head, I'm like, but like pride. Like
Yeah.
we didn't have a lot of friends in Aura, like with other orgs.
Mhm.
We didn't have a lot of good relationships with other orgs, but the one that we did have was Pride. We always talked
Yeah. We
quite
all.
highly of them,
Yeah.
and they seemed to really to like us as well. And I saw so Bex got picked up. um
Jabo got picked up as well.
Can't remember
Mhm.
if so Jay wasn't quite on the team yet. It was just Bex. Bex got
Oh.
picked up on like the Thursday, and I had sent a message to Meyer. But here's the reality: is I knew Five ran the account,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a big fan, right, of
Mm-hmm.
Five,
Five is
and
awesome. He's so sweet.
Mhm.
I know he did other things. He was the overall, but I know that mainly he ran the account, and in no way did I want to step on toes because he was doing a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
But I sent a message to Meyer, who's the CEO, did not get a reply. And I was like, the person to message here is Five,
Mm-hmm.
but that's so awkward. Like,
Can I
hey,
have your job?
I know you run the account, but can I do it instead? Right?
I
Yeah.
could do
Super
it a little
awkward.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't
no,
want to
no.
come off with like a fat ego and off the bat.
Right,
Like that's so
right, right, right.
awkward. Yeah, yeah.
So I messaged Meg, who had just gotten promoted to stream lead. I was like, this is not the right person to ask at all. None. So instead I was just like, look, so I sent a message to Meyer. I'm assuming he gets a bunch of messages. Just be able to let him know um that I send him a message because he wasn't following me, so it was sitting in his requests. And the clock was ticking because I know I just accepted this position. We're about to announce it. And I'm like, but I'd rather have Pride. And I
Yeah.
know that because a lot more homies over there. I didn't really know anybody in this other organization. They're not as connected.
To the
And I
original,
know
yeah.
I'm gonna yeah, so I know I'm gonna have more fun over here if I can. Meg was like, you know what? I know Meyer's busy right now. I'll just put it in management chat.
Oh,
I was like,
fast
what? No,
track.
no, no. I was like, no, 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 no. No, no, no. Don't put my message in management chat, please. Because Five is
He's
right.
in
Like,
there.
I'm not trying
Cracks
to
knuckles.
snake here. I am not trying to snake here. I get a DM from Five like 30 seconds later, and I'm so nervous. I'm at work right now. My heart is pounding. I told them I had an important phone call, and I'm like, oh no. Um, and he's like take it, like have the
Oh,
job. He sent me my tweet that was from the day before that was like, I want to do this for an organization again. Like I want to
yeah.
get back into it.
Mhm.
And he's like, me, please, like us, like we like I love that Twitter. He was saying like, I love that Twitter account so much. It means so much to me. But like take it. Like I want you to be able to do that because he did like what I was doing with Aura, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like this huge sigh of relief. I messaged the other organization. And I was just like, there's another
Bye.
option that I need to take.
Yeah.
And yeah, no hate to them, but it's so
No.
much of a better fit. I think I could use that language that we did with Pride. I mean with Aura, and use it with Pride, and it was a seamless transition. I think we
Mm-hmm. I think they're
were
very
able
much
to
connected. Yeah. It was really
yeah,
good.
there were similar approaches to how we wanted to connect with the community, so
Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
very happy.
Good. So, how long have you been with Pride now?
Since November 7th. Wow, it's been 2 months
Hey, we passed the
already.
1 month mark.
Yeah, I know,
He
right?
made it.
He
My
made it.
goodness. Yeah, so just over 2 months now,
That's
which was
awesome.
awesome.
Cool. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's wanting to have to start out in social media management? Would you give the same advice that was it the G2 social
Yeah.
specialist told you about?
Yeah, I think I would because he's still a lot more qualified to give advice than I am.
Mhm.
My good old 3 months of experience. So I'm gonna definitely stick with his advice
Mhm.
still. And to be honest, in the grand scheme of things, my experience and what he suggested aren't that different. Um, in the grand scheme of things, Aura, Pride are smaller. We
Mhm.
hope that the Pride is going to grow. That's the goal.
Mhm.
But I mean, as of right now, it is a um, a smaller organization. I think I came on at 4,000 followers, which isn't everything. That number isn't everything, but like it's a decent indicator
Mhm.
of size. And so if it's not a team like that, and I did get lucky getting picked up to Aura, and then Nathan liked what he saw.
Mhm.
But if not, there are orgs starting every day. Like one started yesterday.
Frozen.
Um, yeah, like they did an awesome job. But like that happens every day. There's
Yeah.
someone that starts every day, and they all need someone to tweet for them. It's usually the owner to start out. No offense to org owners, they're not the best at tweeting because
Uh
they're worried about other things, but like they're not always the best. They're not always. So to start out with, like, go hit them up. That's
Mhm.
when they're looking, and chances are when they're starting an org, in my opinion, they're not thinking about that right away. They're thinking about we need streamers or content creators, comp players, whatever they're getting into. The last thing that they're probably thinking about is gonna be the guy who runs the Twitter, because
It
they're thinking to start out, I can do it.
Mhm.
Yeah. They don't think it's
So
that hard, but like excuse me, it seems like there's like a lot that goes into it in terms of like what tweets you can do, what tweets you can't do, which ones will get likes, which ones will, go flat. So I don't think I could do it. It seems like a lot more work than like you would expect from the outside looking in, because most people think, oh, it's just a Twitter, but you got to be funny, relatable, all that good jazz.
I love that statement. Oh, you're just tweeting. You get to just sit there and tweet all day. It's like, okay,
Yes, I see.
yeah, okay,
Just like you sit here and talk shit. I'm kidding.
yeah, right,
Exactly.
You and your 2 followers impress me.
yeah. I'm just like, okay, yeah.
Fair enough.
There's totally no behind the scenes struggling to get a video posted, the link to work, a thumbnail, and get it scheduled or not get it scheduled, and you know,
Mm.
there's more to it, but um,
It's a lot of, I think, organizational skills need to go into it for sure. I think you need to be like
yeah,
not spur of the moment. I'm gonna tweet this now, but being able to schedule your tweets and being able to also vibe with your community. I feel like, I think as a social media manager, you're very much connected to the community because you get all the
mhm,
replies, you reply back, you keep an interaction going. I think that's really interesting too. You're like a little bit of
yeah,
like a lifeline almost between yourself and the community, so that they stay engaged as well and you can engage with them. And then that's how you find
it's
more
true.
Like
people, or people
everyone's
find your org as well. You're
Mhm.
basically the base point for that. And then you spread out.
you'll
Yeah,
be the first impression from like that the community gets all the time.
right. Well, it's interesting too because I interact with so many people through the Pride account, and then I'll like go visit their stream, and I'm like, dude, I've had conversations, I've had funny moments with this person, and they're like, oh hey, and I'm like, oh yeah, they weren't really interacting with me. And so they don't recognize that conversation, like they might know I'm the social media manager, but they don't always put like two and two together that conversation they had on Twitter with the Pride account was me. So like I can't always reference those conversations. It's kind of an interesting thing.
It's like almost
And
like, like a superhero that puts on their mask and then when you take it off and you're in their Twitch chat and then you're like, you don't know who I am until
yeah.
I put on the mask. It's like a
Well,
Is
then I
Gank Spider
also
Man?
I also feel bad because then I go on my personal account and realize that tweet that I was really hyping up, I didn't even like myself. And I'm like, wait, but I did, but I didn't. It was on the other account. And so I try and make sure that I'm, also supporting on my personal one, um, as much as I can. I
hmm
try my best.
Yeah, that's so cool. Um, what got you now a little bit more about your own, because you split up both your social media management and your content creation. separately. And I think that's
Right.
always a good way to look at it. For example, I edit for YouTubers and stuff. So I have that, and then I have my own content creation stuff on
Mhm.
the side, and it's very important to split up too. That's why
Yes.
I'm always afraid of affiliating myself with certain things now after what happened with the war, because I'm just like, it could affect the jobs that I get in the future.
Yes.
So I'm very careful, very much so now, on who I work with.
Mhm.
But what got you first started in creating content? Um,
Yeah, no, that's a good question. It's um not a complicated story, but they're like the timeline is a little weird. When Fortnite was super popular, 2018, I got a PC and decided that I was gonna be this cracked Fortnite streamer. After watching Daquan, who is amazing and I miss in the content
oh,
world dearly, but like I was like, man, I can do it. I can do it too. And so fired up the PC, downloaded Streamlabs OBS, gross. And went to work.
Gross.
Oh, it's Streamlabs. Don't get me started on Streamlabs OBS. It's
Gross.
I'm a
it's
studio
horrifying.
person. I'm with the OBS
Yeah,
studios. Yeah,
yeah,
that's where it
studio.
is. Yeah,
Joseph, we'll
sorry.
talk afterwards. We'll talk afterwards. We need to
Whoa.
talk. But fired up Streamlabs OBS and went to work. I put my gameplay up. I had a webcam. I had a
Mm.
$30 microphone. I was ready. There was a problem.
Oh,
No viewers showed up, man.
oh,
Like
first problem.
I was here. I was live. Where were my thousands of viewers, right? I'm Daquan that has thousands. Where are mine? Right? That was the problem
It's my
here.
chat.
And I was like, man, I have no follower. I have no followers. Okay, I gotta get to affiliate. Gotta get 50 followers. So I'm just gonna go to people's chats, be like, hey, I'm a streamer.
Oh
Yeah, I
no,
did
you were
that.
that
Oh,
guy?
100%. Well, now
No,
hold on.
man.
So this is why I am I'm so hard on follow for follow and all of that, but this is why I will always, to a fault, give people a second chance because there are people out there that say that that's the right thing to do. That's what people said I should do in 2018, and there's still people, I don't know how, in 2021 with platforms, thousands of followers that say this is how you should do it.
Blech.
And I don't get it. And it should never exist. But I was that guy. Did follow for follow. It was awful and gross. And I went 8 months with averaging 1 to 2 viewers. I did hit affiliate at some point. I'm not quite sure how. Um, and then it just didn't go anywhere. I was like, I'm out. I'm done. Like, this is stupid. I quit 2018 still. And then I was playing a lot of Rainbow Six with a friend of mine, who's also a mod, Cam. He's awesome.
Shout out Cam.
And shout out Cam. And I was playing a lot of Rainbow Six, like 8 hours a day, because I didn't have a job anymore. It was 2020. Um, it was March, and I was like, if I'm going to be playing games 8 hours a day, why not stream it? What's the worst that could happen, right?
Mhm.
It can't be worse than 2018. And so fired it up and kind of revived the Twitter a little bit. It's basically, I started back at zero on everything, on followers and all that. I was like, I'm gonna start fresh. March 2020, here we go. This is gonna be my year. And definitely had learned my lessons. I know it's only been 2 years, but I grew up a lot in those 2 years. And going to school for marketing helped a little bit. I was able to take some of those things that I had learned and applied it to myself,
Mhm.
and decided to start back up, be a pro gamer.
Mm.
And it started, and it did pretty well, to be honest. I mean, for within the first 3 months, like by May, I had maybe 700 followers. I actually had 700 subs at that time, Twitch subs, because people were ridiculous.
That's
Um,
amazing.
Wow.
shit.
Yeah, things were really taking off, and I was excited, and my eyes got big, and we were just going for the best of the best. And then what they don't tell you about Twitch is when you're growing, then you'll stop growing, and then you'll realize your average viewer count like goes down a little bit. I was so used to posting these month summaries where everything was going up like
Mm-hmm.
exponentially,
You
and then all of a
plateau
sudden I
and
was
you go.
like,
Yeah.
it's like, what? I thought we were getting partner in a few months. What is this? And it's been a up and down journey, thankfully trending up overall, and um it's been really nice. But yeah, I literally just started because I wanted to be able to get clips of Rainbow Six, and that was that. And the rest, yeah, the rest is history. I'm not even a game streamer anymore. So
Yeah, I was gonna say,
here we
didn't
are.
you recently, quit, I guess, in a sense of like streaming and gaming at the same time and whatnot? I think you
Yeah,
had
I'm done
talked
with
about it.
FPS games.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm done.
oh, you're over
I
it.
play them
I'm
offline.
done.
I can't. I'm done streaming them.
Okay.
I've seen
Yeah.
you streaming League of Legends like later at night sometimes.
Yep, Friday nights we play League. That's
Oh.
the one game that like my community loves. 2 of them know League of Legends. The rest of them are just like, wow, this guy rages so hard. It's hilarious when he plays. So
This man yells,
you know.
"I'm a follow."
Hey, yo, rage clips are the best clips, without a doubt. All right.
Yeah, as long as you're not actually like getting mad to the point where then you start getting mad at the people who are just sitting here trying to enjoy
You getting
watching
mad?
you play the game. Yeah, those people I can't stand. But
Yeah.
Just watch
That's-
nervously.
You don't
No, I
yell.
never take it that far. I just ripped
No.
my door off the hinges once. That was
Okay.
but that's comedy.
Oh, dude, it was great. People ate it up.
Okay. So what's
Boom.
your favorite thing about content creating?
Oh, it sounds so cheesy and generic.
Oh
but it
no,
really is.
go.
It really is meeting new people, and I'm not gonna just leave it at that because that would just be cheesy and cringy. But I think this year, especially this last year, there was a lot of room for um, isolation and loneliness and things like that, which do come with streaming regardless. People don't talk about that enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, I am just in my room by myself. But it really did give me a community that I can talk to. The reason why I was up till 5 a.m. last night and that I usually am is because there are people in Discord calls in my Discord all the time, and we're able to play games and
Oh.
whether I'm there or not, like they're there, and pretty much 99% of the time, if I want to talk to someone, I can because they're already in that call. I just go in, bam, we're gaming, chatting, whatever it is. And so without streaming, I wouldn't have that. And I've really gained some best friends. Like there are a few people that I met purely from streaming that I'm inviting like to the wedding in May. So
Oh
like
yeah, congratulations by the way.
thank
Oh
you.
my god, with Anna, right? Is her name?
Mhm.
Anna.
Yep.
Ah, that's so much fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited. But the reality is like there's like 75 people to the wedding. There are some family members that we are not inviting, and there are
Mm.
some people that I've met through streaming that are. So that's like how crazy of connections that I've made,
Mhm.
and that's why it is my favorite thing. Every day I have the opportunity to meet someone new that could develop that level of friendship. And to me that's worth streaming every day. That's worth giving a follow for follow person a second chance because you know it could be someone like that and a friendship like that comes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite part.
I love that, honestly. And your community, like, have become very close with you. So I
Mhm.
find that's very very cool because you bond with a lot of the people that were just names in your chat in the
Right.
beginning, and then now they've become so much more. What's your next step when it comes down to social media management and content creating? Where do you see yourself?
Yeah.
The
Oh, that's a
goals.
big
That's what I want to
question.
know. Yeah, I know. It's very loaded.
So I have a few goals for 2021. That's as far as I can look right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because things change so much.
So quick too.
Um,
Yeah.
but the goals right now, by the end of the year, I do it would be crazy quick and it would be extremely difficult, but I do think that there's a chance at Twitch partner um while just chatting, which is terrifying. Um But, I'll still be playing other games and stuff, but relying on just chatting is a little bit of a daunting task.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I feel like that's a pretty difficult way to reach partner, but I know it can be done, and I'm excited to try.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, really kind of pushing that type of content out there, which you don't see a whole lot within, bigger organizations. You don't see them recruit. You never see them recruiting just chatting streamers.
No.
They'll recruit Apex. They'll
Yeah.
recruit COD. But I've never seen an organization say we're recruiting just chatting streamers. I'm not really looking to join an org, but that's like a big org as a streamer. Um, but it's that mindset within the community that I think is a stumbling block to really being able to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then G Fuel, obviously, I'm trying to get sponsored by G Fuel.
G
Big goal this
Fuel.
year.
Yeah.
Um, we'll try and get there. But then again, I think about after making the announcement of switching to more just chatting, like as a sponsor, right? Do they think similarly to the big organizations? I don't see why they wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Apex streamer, right? Great, he's cracked out on G Fuel and he's hitting all the shots in the world. This guy just talks to people, right? So I kind of have that mental like wrestling with that of whether that will hurt my chances.
I don't
Um,
think it should because
I don't
honestly,
think it
if you
should,
look
but
at like shoutcasting, it's just them talking. If you want to
right.
metal it down to just that, it's like shoutcasting, even though it takes skills and holding a conversation and analytics and color casting. It's like, sure, you're holding a conversation, but you're doing so much more. So I think that's why
Mhm.
just chatting, I feel, is way more difficult in the sense of like a lot of people can distract themselves on a gameplay, but when you're having one on one conversations with your chat, you have to constantly be entertaining. And I think a lot of people have blown up because of that. For example, Ludwig or Miskiv, they're very much personality oriented that have blown up in the last 2 years. So it's easy to get distracted by a game and completely forget about your chat, but it's even harder to try and hold a conversation. So that's why I'm very interested in your path that you're taking because that's something I'm going to be taking for myself as well. So it's like, yes, you're just talking, but it's so much more than just that.
So much more. Yeah. Um, yeah, no, you're right. So G Fuel and Twitch partner are big goals that I'm really going for. Um, Not partner pushing. I'm nowhere close. Um, but then with social media, I really am trying to get a paid full-time position by the end of the year. I work right now as an optician. I sell glasses to people.
Ooh.
That's
And as
dope.
fun as um, that is not quite what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I am surrounded by people at my job where that's what they want to do for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a career.
Mm-hmm. It
But
is.
I'm like, but man, when I considered like sticking with that for a while because, pay was good, hours are good. They were working with me since I'm still going to school. But now that I'm finding this and I'm like, man, sucked all passion out of that because I'm super excited about this. And I'm really hoping to get a full-time paid position this year. Whether it's an internship or, really low man on the totem pole somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've made a lot of great connections this year. So I'm hoping to see what I can do with that. That's really my goal. Because I tweeted not too long ago that I felt like there was a ticking clock on all of this. Um, Even though I'm only 20, but the reality is, getting married in May, like there's, financial responsibility. that I need to have. Like I can't just put endless hours into
No.
everything with nothing in return. So, um, again, I know that that's like blasphemy, right? Like, you're a content creator. You just do it for the love of it, and you're right. But at the end of the day, I do have responsibility. So,
Mhm.
and I do have a family soon that I need to take care of. So I do want a position that's paid so that I can do what I love and support my family. And we're gonna try for it this year. So
I,
that's the big goal.
Woo! I think that's also like the mentality that a lot of people have in terms of like they're like do it for the love, but it's like, and I use this example when I'm editing for YouTubers or people certainly in who are smaller, and they're like, oh, can you do it for free? I was like, free doesn't pay my bills. Like I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but like
Mm-mm.
there's a certain point where I used to do it for free to like what you're doing right now to build up your portfolio until I went
Sure.
after the bigger guys, and then at that point that allowed my partner to go full time. Now he's full time content editing. I'm next in 2021 if we nail another big client, right? So it's like this, like you said, a ticking time bomb, and to the fact of like, I need to get this done so that I can do what I love and I can focus on the next steps that I want to do in life, right? It's like
Right.
you're doing this for free, but at one point, if you really want to make it, you have to think of this as a business, and you have to constantly be learning and constantly being better than the person next to you.
Right.
So that's how I always think about it, because somebody is always going to be better than you. So it's like, don't obviously, and it comes from this mentality of like burning yourself out. So God, please take care of your mental health as well.
Of
This
course.
is important.
Drink your water.
Yeah, drink your water, do your stretches,
Yeah.
but like it's this factor of like you need to know what you want to do as well. So like you already having such a strong mindset of like, this is what I want to do and I want to go for it, is going to push you a lot harder than most people. We're just going to be, this is for funsies. Like I'm gonna
Right.
just do this for fun. You have an actual dedication, like I want to do this and I'm gonna do this. Like, and that's what helped me push to where I am as well. Like bless
See,
up.
like
Yeah.
I resonate with that ticking clock thing so hard because I've been making content since I was 12, and when I was in high school, I was still doing it, but like obviously life starts getting pretty busy and stuff. And when I was with my ex, I was still trying to upload stuff, and she decided to hop on the train with me. We had a family vlog channel for a little while,
No
and
way.
yeah,
That's awesome.
because it was like right as that was getting popular, we're like,
Mhm.
oh, two young parents, kids, that's easy.
Oh yeah.
What people don't understand, like you said, you have responsibilities, and that like real life stuff, like bills, your family, all this fun stuff is always gonna come before making content or
Yeah.
posting on social media or whatever it is. And if you're not getting paid for it, it's really hard to want to put your all into it when you've got all these other things going on. And I like that's why sometimes when people are like for funsies, I'm like Jackie said, funsie doesn't pay my bills. So like in
The word
2020.
exposure. It's for exposure.
Get paid with exposure, and it's just
I
like
just wanted to do it for the experience.
Yeah. The E words. The things.
yeah. Go to your landlord and pay him an exposure, and
And
then
see
Sir,
what
I
come
got
happens.
I got 10 likes on Twitter. Please give me my month free.
Oh
Yeah,
my
and
God.
I do want to say publicly that I am extremely happy with what I'm doing
Mhm.
with Pride, because I have so much fun with it, honestly. And at the end of the day, um right now I'm able to go to work and do all of those things together. Um but they know that my goal is to get a full-time position at some point,
Mhm.
and that's going to be pretty down the road, to be honest. I have a
Mhm.
lot of things to learn, and right now I'm only working with Twitter, and I have a lot of skills to learn before any full-time position happens.
Yeah.
um
You need to gain that
but yeah,
experience first and then go forward with that.
and the exposure.
And the exposure, sorry. I'm way past that. I'm like, I don't fucking care about your 100
Exposure
followers,
is
bro.
my salary,
I know,
man.
right?
I'm
Um,
chilling, bro.
yeah.
This is a little bit more heavy with everything that's been happening this week. I think it's been quite an eventful week for U.S. history, but as well as the internet of
Oh yeah.
conversations about, and I think this could reflect very heavily on you as well. in terms of the cancel culture around Twitter. And I wanted to get your take on that because I was very interested to know what your answer was about cancel culture. Do you think it works? Are you like, I know it's a very loaded question. If you don't want to
No,
answer,
it
don't worry
is.
about it.
It's
But
such a
like,
good question, though.
yeah, I think a lot of people have different opinions about it. And I watched a video about it this week with everything that happened with Call Me Carson. And I think that everything that went down with that. And he explained to me how cancel culture doesn't work. You can't fully cancel somebody unless they're fully deplatformed. It's a question of people use it to the advantage, to their own advantage. Example, Logan Paul has been canceled multiple times, always comes back stronger because there's two types
He's killing it, though.
Yeah, I know. He's doing great. I honestly love Logan Paul. I think he's
2020
grown a
was
lot,
so
but-
good for him. He made it the whole year without a major controversy.
Let's go.
Yeah.
He's made it.
Or Jake Paul, another example. Keeps like there's so many of them that use these cancel cultures to their advantage. So there's like two types of audiences he explained. Like there's your core audience and then your passive audience. Your passive audience only comes in when there's controversy or something like that. You'll get more eyeballs on you, and because so many people are talking about you, you're not fully canceled. If anything, when everything went down with Alinity, it blasted their numbers out the water. So it's like, you know, like you can't technically. So I wanted to get your take on that and what you thought of it.
So to start, you know, I agree that I don't know if it's, you know, you can like fully cancel someone. But you know, cancel culture is real to the point where in the last 10 seconds, I've had to not usually for, you know, a question that you would ask me, right? I would just think about my answer and say it. This time I had to think about my answer, think about how it would be perceived,
Right.
and then say it, right? Like, and think about it like even I would have to think about it even more because it is real, and in I'm not like big by any means. But every single thing that I say while I'm live, or everything that I tweet, has the ability to get me quote unquote canceled. And I've seen it plenty of times because it's in every circle. You don't have to be huge to get canceled. There are creators smaller than me that have gotten canceled on Twitter. But it's terrifying as someone that lives their life online and in front of a rolling camera. It's pretty scary because I know my intentions always. Everything that I say, I know my intentions behind it. But the internet does not. And sometimes they don't necessarily care what your intentions are. It really is the words that come out of your mouth or that are written down. And that is pretty terrifying. I think that the internet's ability to deplatform someone that needs to be deplatformed is powerful, and it can be used for quote unquote good. But I think this mentality, it's like a swarm of piranha sometimes, right? Where
Yes.
or shark, like you get or sharks, right? You get one drop of blood in the water, and that passive audience that you described will be at your doorstep so quick. So I don't really know how to answer it, but I do believe it's real. I believe that it is that it can be dangerous.
Yeah.
And I do think that even if someone was to get canceled, right? They might come back stronger. Their numbers, you know, might grow because of it. They will never live it down. I could go to Alinity's tweet right now. The last one that she tweeted. It could be about the type of coffee she had this morning. There will be a comment about a cat.
It's
guaranteed.
Absolutely. I think that's true. And I think that's something she's going to be living through. And she's talked about it, I'm pretty sure, about about it, how it affects
Dr. K.
Yeah, and it affects her mental health a lot of the time. We have to remember that a lot of these content creators are like 20, 21, 18. Like some of these are young. Like they
Mhm.
don't know much yet, and it's the fact that we put them on such a high pedestal as well. And I'm not saying that like I condemn, like I not condemn. I agree with everything that they do. People make mistakes, so we're all human. Obviously, like heavy allegations like pedophilia or racism or
Sure.
whatever, it's obviously such a different call. But when people, I'm taking like Dreams accusations on cheating in Minecraft, like I feel like
Right.
it's so light, and I don't know why he's getting so much hate for it, even though the time I guess was, I don't know much about it, but it's like the fact of like we putting these people who are 20, 21, 22 up on these really high pedestal and expecting them not to slip up. It's like very, very hard because people, for example, are live all the time, having discussions all the time. These things can get clipped out of context and then thrown on LSF or something, and it blows up
Right.
out of proportion, and then they get hate for like the rest of their content creation career. Right? It's a very terrifying thought that if you slip up once,
It
um,
really is.
it's hard, and it's this cancel culture that I agree that some people do need to be deplatformed because of the amount of hate that they've created. But it's also these young people who have done mistakes that just like kind of messed up, that are just trying to find their way at the moment. And certainly with when you have such a heavy audience and a lot of people have their eyeballs on you at the same time, it's really hard to I can't even wrap my brain around the amount of people, millions of people watching you, and each
Mhm.
individual person has their own opinion about you. So that's why you really have to like divide yourself. And like Jay Schlatt have talked about it, and Ludwig has talked about it, how they said like, I'm not your friend, like I'm never gonna be your friend, I don't know you. Like they
Right.
instantly put that division up. I'm sure that's different for like people from our size, who everybody who comes in, regulars who you've definitely befriended at that point. But when people have that
Right.
big of an audience, it becomes this division of like, and it's to the point where it's even threatening some of the girls in the community, like stalking situations, and like it's
Right.
terrifying. Like that level like scares the fuck out of me. So it's like,
Yeah, no, that is insane.
so it's being a content creator. Yeah, you're posting for fun and you're having fun, but there's so much more behind the scenes that you don't even know what's going on. And a lot of
Right.
these don't talk about it publicly until they feel comfortable that they can. So it comes with a lot of responsibility. So people might think it's fun being a YouTuber, but don't realize the amount of impact there is behind that.
Right.
And you have very strong influence as well. So you have to remember, be careful with your words and whatnot. So like, very heavy topic.
I have a
Yeah.
mod that his life goal is to get canceled by the K-pop stands.
Okay.
I figured I'd go on the lighter side of it. He like there was one day he tweeted something stupid about K-pop, and someone replied on it. The first time he ever got a reply, and he was like, "Thank you so much for they said like it's the obsession for me," and he was like, "Thank you so much for being the first person to come onto my tweet and hate me in my journey to get canceled by the K-pop
Oh my
stands." And
goodness.
I was like, dude, that is the one group that is like vicious all the time. Are
Oh.
you sure that's what you want to do?
Yeah, are you sure you want to mess with that?
Like that, like K-pop stands and dream stands. I'll stay away from both groups.
Yeah,
They're scary.
I think very overly obsessive people are just terrifying in general, because you're not sure. They're very unpredictable people. Sure, they're
Yeah.
fine, but they're in this stage of life where it's like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah,
We'll get through it.
exactly.
Who's your biggest inspiration in the industry right now? Who do you look up to? And it could be
Someone
like
that
a
I've
friend
actually
too.
so someone that I've actually gotten a lot closer to lately is Dunk, who is TSM social media manager. He put out a tweet earlier in December saying that they were looking for a social media intern for 2021, paid full time. I'm like,
Wait, I think
ooh.
I tagged you in that note. Did I tag you in this?
Yeah,
And I was like, Gank.
I
think
think
I did.
so. Yeah. Well, people were amazing. I mean, people were sending me
Oh
that
my god,
tweet,
yeah.
tagging me in that
That's why I was
tweet.
like, yo, this is perfect for him.
And it,
Gank
it
was
it was perfect. And I was like, man, I'm going for it. And so, I I did what you do in that circumstance. I knew of Dunk. Dunk was actually one of the people. So this is really funny. Dunk was one of the people in June that I DM'd, like that I was DMing everybody, right? Completely egoed me. Okay, completely egoed me. But he told people to send him DMs, or like to reach out, right?
Mhm.
And so, well, actually, did he? Maybe he didn't. Well, I did anyways. I reached out. I kind of like recorded a video, a short introduction, and emailed it to him. And a couple days later, so he did follow me on Twitter, which
Oh, let's go.
very very happy about. So then he went live. And he posted his going live. So I'm like,
Mhm.
let's just go hang out, right? Because what's the worst that can happen? He's playing League, which I love. I love watching. And he sees my name a couple times in his chat, and that's like the most that'll come of it, right? So I went to his stream, and he is extremely funny. Um, he is super down to earth. I think that night he'd like 50 viewers. He got rated by Wardell because, of course, right? It's no big deal. And but he's super down to earth. He was reading all of chat messages and everything, and I just had a good time. So now my friends and I were like, wow, this guy's really really cool, and so we watched him like every night. And he actually messaged me the day after saying, man, really, it's like, thank you so much for hanging out and stream. I was
Oh.
like, what are you saying?
Yo.
Me? No, thank you for existing. Hello? What are you like? At this point, I'm like starstruck, and he's amazing. I go to his streams now, and he'll just be like, "Hey," he doesn't like any of my tweets or interact with them, but I know he sees like all of them. He's like, "Yo, Liam, like congrats on
First
TikTok or
name
something."
basis. What?
Yeah, yeah, like the other day, he's like, "Yeah, I watched all your TikToks last night before I went to bed." I was like, "What are you talking about?" So the intern position is filled. I did not get the internship, but the fact that like I seriously look at that as a friendship now with zero strings attached. Um, I know that he was worried that the people that were in this chat because of the internship, there were quite a few, um, you know, wouldn't stick around afterwards, but he's very entertaining, very down to earth, and I've been in streams since, and we're all still there. Like we all just like actually have a good time in this guy's stream, and so he is definitely my biggest inspiration. I mean, he runs all of those socials himself, and he's killing it. TSM has millions of followers across platforms, and he just got promoted, and I don't know, I'm really happy for him, and I also do see him as a friend regardless of what happens. So I'm very very happy about that.
I think
And
it's a
yeah,
connection that you built right now that could well it's a friendship but also could benefit you in the long run where he could be like a mentor to you down the line, like I think
100%.
it's really fun that he knows you now and he sees you everywhere, I would imagine, and he's watched all your
Yeah.
TikToks, so he
You
for
just all my
sure
TikToks for some reason.
like he enjoys what you're putting out, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Like I'm so happy for you. Oh my gosh, like it's so
Yeah, but I
cool.
mean, he comes by the stream every now and then. He's in the UK, so our time zones don't exactly line up. But
Yeah,
just having someone like him just randomly show up in your chat just to hang out is still kind of mind blowing.
that's awesome. So which social media platform do you feel like right now is the best to grow on at this
TikTok,
moment?
oh my
TikTok,
god,
yeah.
not even
Did you want to
close.
talk about your TikTok and how you grew it or how to grow a TikTok
Yeah, so okay,
from what you've
TikTok
learned?
is
Yeah.
amazing. If anyone is listening to this that is a content creator and you don't have a TikTok account, fight me. Um,
Oh.
or make one. Like either make one or fight me.
Whichever comes first.
Whichever comes first. No, I'm like so adamant about this because I was never against TikTok. Um, I was I feel like a boomer when it comes to TikTok. I don't understand. I like earlier in the year, I was, started on Twitter, Twitch, right? Like I wanted to be good at a couple things instead of spread myself too thin, which is not always advice you should take. There are people that say the opposite. Just put yourself out there on as many platforms regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Vee said he said it's quantity over quality, right? And to a certain extent that's true. I wanted to do it a little bit differently.
But also, Gary Vee, most of these people have a team behind them, and you are one person. So,
True,
yeah.
true, true, true. Well, and when if you're working a full-time job, right? Like
Oh,
there
yeah.
there are limits to what you can do. Um, so I was slow on the TikTok game. Did not hate on the TikTok game, but I was slow. I then downloaded it in like summer or something like that, late summer, and I was like, okay. I was playing Modern Warfare at the time. I was hitting a lot of like wall bangs. There was a map shoot house that I was just learning every wall bang I could possibly learn and just spamming them and getting clips of me just shooting people through walls. I am
Mhm.
not good at COD by any stretch of the imagination, but I could edit it to look like I was hacking, just straight up hacking. So I posted those on COD, and they were getting thousands of views. No
Nice.
followers because they were all mad at me. I got like the most like hateful comments
Oh my
ever.
gosh. What?
Oh yeah. They're like, there's no way this guy's legit. You're the reason why like games suck. You are awful. You have zero skill. So I was getting like one video where I put some of my best ones together. I hit someone through a metal container. It's fantastic. Um,
Wow.
like 130,000 views because that's just how TikTok works. When you
Yeah.
get something that people want to like will watch and will watch again because they were like, hold on, did I see that right? So they watched it again and then they commented their little hate comment. It was like, ooh, engagement,
That's what I'm saying.
watch
If
time.
you get hate, it still works. No
It still
matter what.
works. And it was getting views, but it was not getting anything that I cared about, which were people that were going to want to come back. And then at the end of the day, what I cared about was transferring. I don't necessarily care about getting big on TikTok
Mhm.
because I'm trying to then transfer them to Twitch. That's the goal, is
Yeah.
transfer to Twitch. And that's super hard to do on any platform. Twitter, my Twitter followers, my Twitch followers, that Venn diagram are barely touching.
Mhm.
Seriously, like
Oh my gosh.
barely touching. So transferring is something that I really struggle with. And obviously this was not working. I would post at this point, but now I was switching to variety streaming, like just variety games. I posted a Fall Guys clip and it got like 100 views. And I'm like,
Okay.
"Wait a minute. This account is useless to me. I don't play Modern Warfare anymore. This account's useless."
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So I had just broken 1,000 followers. I was very excited. This was after months and months and months of posting. So I scrapped the account. I'm like, it's useless. I mean, TikTok's one of those ones where momentum is everything, and trying to switch up what you're doing at this point is going to be too hard. So I deactivated, made a new one on December 6th. And I know, well, I don't know because no one knows anything with TikTok, let's be honest. It looks like, though, if you go to people's first videos on TikTok, they get a little bit of extra views than the rest.
Mhm.
Um, not like all of them moving forward, but like if I were to post 3 videos at the start, that first one's gonna get a little bit more than the other 2.
Mhm.
And it looked like to me, okay, they're gonna kinda push this first one, kinda test the water of if people are gonna watch you. So I made a little video about my Twitch journey, how, the growth has come, starting out obviously 0 viewers, now up at 20, 23. Kind of wanted to showcase that, but that is my first one. It's like a big introduction. And so I did. I got like 600 views, which for 0 followers, I was happy with. Got, I think, like 30 or 40 in the first day. And I'm like, okay, we're starting
Mhm.
with something here. And I started watching as many videos as I could, how to grow on TikTok, right? Um, and when they say grow on TikTok like in 24 hours, usually on any other platform that's like a big clickbait scam. on TikTok, they mean it. These people believe it because they've done it. TikTok is a platform that you can grow very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
and in large numbers. And they were like 3 to 4 videos a day, post with limited hashtags, but like targeted hashtags, but the hashtags don't matter that much. Here are some good times to post, but again, the times don't matter. TikTok's changing so much that they posted like a new video every day on how to attack this new algorithm, right? I love that word, algorithm. It's just
Algorithm.
this like overhanging entity that you're trying to impress. It's like this weird TikTok's weird. But I posted videos out. I did it so I'm posting a video where I drink G Fuel every day because that's a really easy video every day that I know I have. I don't have to think of a new idea for one of those videos. And posted 3 to 4 times a day. Hashtags, some of them did well. Up until like yesterday, I never had a video break 20K views,
Mhm.
which 20K views is awesome, but like I wasn't hitting those massive numbers. But
Mhm.
still, in a month, it's the 10th now. So in just over a month, I think I'm sitting at 6,662 followers on TikTok. So within a month, I have now 6 times the amount of followers on this account than I did the other one. And it's all like just Twitch related content. So like just streaming. Like when you go to my page, there are 2 Minecraft ones. Of course, my Minecraft one from yesterday where I got played by a villager now has my most views.
Yeah, that's the
But
one I saw on my For You page. Was the it's 35 emeralds, blah blah.
I
and it ended up
know.
being
I got
36.
played, man. So
was great.
that's the one that has the most views, but all of the rest, if you were to scroll through or someone were to follow me and scroll through, they just know me as a streamer. I'm not tied to a game. Now some of them are going to follow me because of or have followed me because of Minecraft, but it's no longer tied to a game.
Mhm.
So as long as I am still a streamer, this account can remain useful to me.
Mhm.
So this is one of those apps that I encourage everybody to be on because it does not matter how many Twitch followers you have. Clout does not matter going into it. You start a new Twitter account,
Mhm.
well, it's a
Kinda matters.
grind, and then it matters big time who you are. On TikTok, don't care who you are yet because anybody can blow up on TikTok.
Mhm.
I want to give a shout out to Kearns. He just got picked up by Pride, and you know his Twitter is smaller, his Twitch is smaller, and I think he just broke 100K followers on TikTok
Let's go.
Wow.
because you can, and that's how because you can.
I'm
Um,
I'm
you
very
agree?
passionate about TikTok, even though the gaming end or the COD is at its end right now. In terms of its tail end, for example, one of the girls that I edited for, she's got 2 million on TikTok, but she's managed to
Same.
transfer that on Twitch. She's averaging 2K, 1.5K on Twitch viewers per
Insane.
stream. So it's like TikTok is such a huge tool that you should use. Even my TikTok of me being drunk broke 120K views. It's like
remember
the
that. That
funniest
was
thing
awesome.
ever, right? So it's like you need to be utilizing tools. I'm not saying post on every platform, but utilize the ones that will benefit you in the end. So TikTok is definitely one. YouTube, I would say, is another, and Twitch. If you get focus on these 3, you can fuck everything else. I don't know about Instagram, to be honest. I don't know anything about it. But
Oh, me neither.
yeah, I hate how they changed everything now. Like I can barely use
Instagram
it.
did.
Yeah, but
I haven't like used it since high school.
oh, that's a long time though. That's like 50 years.
Did you
I'm
just call me
kidding.
old?
I'm kidding.
I was gonna
You-
ask if Instagram was around then, but
No,
Anyway,
I don't think they even
so-
had computers back then. I'm kidding.
Wow. Okay. Well, did you get? You know what? Never mind. Conversation for another time. But so most of Gank's TikToks I see, I almost never check my following tab
I
unless
never
I'm
do.
in bed late at night. So all the, like you the other day you were like, I see you liking my TikToks. It's because they're always on my For You page, like every night. And there's one in particular that I don't know why, but it's the one that lives rent free in my head. And it's the
Oh, no.
one of you. It's like the most like the one you wouldn't expect it to be. It's the one where it was like when my mom comes into the chat and it's like, stop
Oh,
saying
yeah.
cuss words, guys.
I
It's
love that sound.
inappropriate. And if you do it, you're gonna go to jail. I think about it all the time. Like I'll be at work and it'll randomly be in my head, and I'm
Oh, that's awesome.
like I'm around all these big tough guys jackhammering the ground, and I'm thinking about that sound and Gank mouthing over it. Like
Oh, that is
regularly,
great.
I swear.
That sound is
It's so
amazing.
good.
It's okay.
Yes, that sound is just amazing.
I'm thinking about it now.
See an impact. But yeah. So I think we're gonna wrap up here, but I do want to thank you so much, gang, for coming on and talking a little
Of
bit more about
course.
social
That
media,
was a lot of fun.
your content creation path. Here's my prayer hands again and everything when I talk. I'm French. I talk with my hands all the time. But I do. Yeah, blah. So I do want to thank you for coming on, you guys. I will leave all his links below for his Twitter. I highly encourage you to. Also, another member of Pride. We have interviewed 5 a couple podcasts back. So I highly suggest you check out the org as well. Super amazing people that are part of it. I always liked Pride and always have and probably will like Pride. But amazing people. So I do suggest you go and check it out. You can also check out our own Twitter, Jack and Joe. We're gonna start posting regularly again. We just took a break last week because of my birthday. I wanted to chill out. So no, but now we're back. We're ready
Happy
to rock
birthday.
and roll. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Grandma.
23. Woohoo! So let's go. So anyways, I thank you guys again for listening. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, wherever you're watching us. I appreciate it. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Everybody wave and say bye. Bye.
Bye.